Victims of psychiatrists ask you to be an ally and demand that the Australian government abolish forced psychiatry. This petition is to the House to draw attention to the brutal persecution, the violent exploitation for the purpose of invasive, cruel, lucrative, forced human experimentation. Psychiatrists are wrongly given statutory power in Australia to arbitrarily detain, torture with poisons 24/7 indefinitely, indoctrinate, interrogate, electrocute, and tie a person up until the person breaks under torture, complying under duress. They will come into your house and take you without charge, hold you down and inject poisons into you. Victim-blaming propaganda, threats of further torture and disenfranchisement. These are employed to silence VOP, who speak out against forced psychiatry. Many victims of crime, corruption and pollution are silenced by forced psychiatry, allowing horrendous abuses such as pedophilia to continue. Many intelligent, inventive, artistic people are murdered, maimed, and their creations never allowed to reach fruition. 20 years torn from people's lives by forced psychiatric poisons. Half the population that dies in Australia each year dies iatrogenic deaths from forced psychiatric drugs. In systems of force, this cannot be a consumer market. Do not call us consumers of violence. Of the deaths registered in Australia in 2011, 75,858 of these deaths were registered to PBS psychiatric drug prescriptions. These deaths accounted for 49.4% of all deaths in this period. The mental health system is a system of diabolical eugenics, stigma targeting, violation in the guise of protection. End eugenics. We, the victims of psychiatrists and our allies, thereby ask the House to request the Prime Minister and Attorney General to abolish all state, territory mental health acts and federal legislation that perpetrates forced psychiatry. Repeal all mental health acts. No one deserves to be subjected to forced human experimentation. No one wants to be an enslaved human laboratory specimen. We've got to abolish forced medicine. We've got to have equality before the law. That's all we're asking for. Stop the persecution of perceived disability. Repeal all mental health acts. Stop discriminating on the basis of financial and social disenfranchisement, atheist beliefs, religious beliefs, creative expression of the unknown and undefined. We are diverse people. We need to exist. We are humanity. Humanity must ask to repeal these state and territory mental health acts, these violent, cruel, nebulous statute laws. They can be repealed by Parliament because they were made by Parliament. And one way is by replacing them with a Federal Human Rights and Reparations Act, equivalent to the signed and ratified United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Victims of psychiatrists demand an end to the eugenics-based cruelties of the state-legislated forced psychiatry. This obscenely violent trade in forced human experimentation must be abolished. It is not something an economy should be run on. We are dreaming of a place without forced psychiatry. Let this place be Australia.